This is Dave Ridley from NHFree.com, reporting from the Live Free or Die Festival in Jaffrey, New Hampshire. It's the second annual such event.
Sort of internal ID Act.
Right now, State Representative Joel Winters is speaking. He's a Free Stater, the first Free Stater elected to the State House in Concord.
In May of
Let's listen in and see what he has to say.
And it demands a big stick that the Real ID Act threatens us with. It says that unless we voluntarily go along with this federal mandate, they're going to inconvenience all the New Hampshire citizens.
Well, that didn't work too well. Let's try that again.
We have the freedom to take our photo out of the database. These basic protections would be illegal under Real ID.
So Representative Winters is expressing his opposition to the federal Real ID Act, which Washington has been attempting to impose on New Hampshire.
The financial cost, the cost to our privacy, our civil liberties and freedom. It's no wonder that many states have come out publicly against Real ID. Now, here in New Hampshire, I was a proud co-sponsor of House Bill 685.
They're clapping now because Joel has just announced that New Hampshire will not be participating in Real ID.
Not alone this time. Montana, Washington, many other states are passing legislation. South Carolina, Maine. It was a surprise to me.
There are also a lot of people here who are open carrying their firearms.
I'm elected this year and didn't return to Concord. The state is issuing Real ID compliant licenses by that point. So because of that, the federal government is offering extension. Proudly sit up and say no.
New Hampshire is an open carry state. That means citizens can carry firearms openly without a license, and it's not illegal anywhere in the state. That right there is my Glock 19. Representative Winters wrapping up his speech there, telling us that New Hampshire will call the bluff of the United States federal government and refuse to comply with ID, even at some risk to our convenience. Real ID in New Hampshire is an issue that unites most Republicans and Democrats in opposition to the federal government. Now, this is Lou from Peterborough. He's definitely a Real ID opponent. He's here with his daughter Eli. They're both Free Staters, and they moved to New Hampshire just a few months ago, I believe. What is it about Real ID that you do not like, Lou?
Well, there's a lot of reasons, but I think one of the reasons that I find important is my family, the rest of my family is in Utah. And if they pass the Real ID Act, and I'm here in New Hampshire doesn't, fall in with the federal government, then how am I going to go visit my family in Utah?
Yeah, the point being that, I guess you could technically still drive, maybe, but you wouldn't be allowed on an aircraft.
Correct.
At least not without a passport. Sometimes the way I look at that is almost like they're pushing us out of the union.
Right.
Real ID would force these fine people and just about everyone you ever met in America to get a federally approved driver's license. You'd have to put all kinds of personal information into the thing, and it would have to be machine readable, which means identity thieves might be able to get it. The other problem is it might tend to go into a federal database, or at least a giant database that's not directly run by the feds. So Real ID is a real sore point with these folks. It would be a privacy killer and an identity. The event is not all gloom and doom. There's a lot of fun stuff going on here too. Right now, the pro-liberty band Poker Face is playing. Let's give them a listen.
Environment. So here you go. Thank you. Hey, Mike, thank you for
It's a fun time for everybody to get together and talk a little bit about freedom. And this is just some of the fun that you're missing. If you do not live in New Hampshire yet, visit freestateproject.org and come join the fun. This is Dave Ridley from nhfree.com, signing off.